Okay, so um, when we do inequalities, we are largely solving them just like we do regular equations. The only difference is when we have a negative with the variable. Now, so I'm going to show you first what the wrong way is to do this. And you may be asking me what's wrong with me when I do that, but it's because I want to show you how this is a case that we have to do it differently. So I'm going to show you doing it the regular way without the fix for the negative variable. And we're going to see that we get the wrong answer. Okay. And that's okay because I'm just showing you why it's true. So we're just going to solve this normally. 60. So I'm going to subtract 7 and subtract 7, right? 63 minus 7 is going to give me 56. And then I would divide by negative 7, right? And when I do that, I'll get negative 8 is greater than k. Now, this is doing it the normal way without doing. Yes, this will be on YouTube. Yeah. You can go and this will show you the trick to this, okay? I'll post it specifically as inequalities with negative variables, okay? Now,
Okay, thank you, Master.
you betcha, not a problem. Now, if I went and graphed this, I'd end up filling in the circle because I've got this thing, and then I'm going to do my 1,000. Is negative 8 larger than 1,000? No. And so doing it the normal way without changing anything, this is going to be what the answer looks like. Now, here's what we're going to do. We're going to pick a number somewhere over here, and we're going to plug it into the original inequality, and we're going to see that it doesn't get the right answer. All right? So I'm going to use negative 100. So I'm going to plug it in. All right? So you can see that all I did was I just plugged in negative 100 for the variable. And so that's going to get me this. And then negative 7 times negative 100 is going to be a positive 700. So can 63 be bigger than 700? No. So this answer is wrong. Okay. Now, I'll show you. Now I'm going to show you how we're going to do this. So this is wrong. Okay. Now we're going to do it the right way. So when we are working with these inequalities, and we see that we have a negative variable, we need to understand that because equations have one answer, it doesn't matter whether we have negatives or positives with the variables. But because when we're working with inequalities, basically it's either this whole half of the graph or this whole half of the graph over here, right? It's not just one number, but it's an infinite number of numbers. So then a negative number can really throw a monkey wrench into our answer. So what we're going to find is that when we have a negative variable, we're going to need to switch this and turn it the other direction. Now, I think the best way to do this is we note that we have a negative variable, and I think we should change it right away. And then we're just going to solve it normally. Because by flipping the sign, we've already taken care of the problem that we have with the negative variable. Does that make sense? Do you see what I'm doing there? Okay, now I know you're kind of going, what the heck? But if you think about it, this is going to flip this to the other side, right? Isn't it? And then this would be the right answer because if this side was wrong, then this side had to be right. So let's go ahead and solve it. So this looks exactly like the last time we solved it. See, it looks almost exactly the same. The difference is that this time we have the sign flipped around. So when I divide by negative 7, I get -8 is less than or equal to k. So when I go ahead and graph that, it's just 8. Sorry, -8. Let's get that camera. When I circle it, I fill it in, I do my 1,000. Is -8 less than 1,000? Yes. And so you see now that because I flipped it, the arrow is going the opposite direction, isn't it? So when I didn't flip it, it went towards the negatives. And when I flipped it, now it goes towards the positives. Now, and I think we can understand that obviously is going to make it right, because if it was wrong here, then it had to have gone the other direction, right, to make it correct. Because it's either this whole side is right or this whole side is right. Yes?
Wait, so you can just know that it's wrong and like do the wrong way and then just flip it and point it the other way?
So because the reality is that the only change that needs to happen is when you've got a negative with the variable, is you just have to flip the sign. So if you flip it right away, then you just do it the regular way and you're done. You get the right answer. So now I'm going to show you, I want to show you that this is true by solving this problem a different way. Now, I know you're probably thinking, dear God, Mr. Easley, you're going to solve this 3 times? Yes, I am, because I want you to see that it works and that it's true, okay? And that's really important to me. So I'm going to say a different way. So here's my problem again. I almost have this doggone thing memorized now. Now, this time I'm going to solve it differently. I'm going to add 7k to both sides. Now I can do that, right? Because we've done that before when we did two-step and multi-step equations. And so now I'm going to have 63 plus 7k is greater than or equal to 7. I'm going to keep solving now. This is going to be -56. You notice how the negative's on the other side now? Look here, you notice how that negative is on the other side? Okay, I divide both sides by 7, and I'll get k is greater than or equal to -8. Well, these two, they're equivalent. And we know they're equivalent because the pointy part of the greater than less than side is pointing towards the -8. So these are the exact same. So now I'm going to graph this to prove to you that these are the same. I'm going to fill it in. I'm going to put my 1,000 in. Is 1,000 greater than -8? Yes. So look here. These two answers are identical. All right. So this proves that when we have a negative variable, if we flip the sign, we'll get the right answer. What do you think about that? Do you like it when you get a proof like that that helps you realize why it works and that it actually is correct? So I'm going to stop the recording now because I just wanted to do this one little bit.